नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका के न्यूज़ 24/7 में। तो चलिए देखते हैं आज की हेडलाइंस। G20 Summit Day 2 Live Updates. Summit concludes in New Delhi. Brazil handed over rotational presidency. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday proposed a virtual session of the G20 around the end of November to take stock of the suggestion and decision made at the leaders' summit that concluded on September 10. In his concluding remarks at the final session of the two-day G20 summit in New Delhi, Modi noted that India's presidency of G20 would officially continue till November 30 and over 2.5 months were left for its tenure as the head of the grouping. Earlier at the concluding session, Mr. Modi handed over the gavel and offered best wishes to Brazil for the presidency. Brazil officially will take over the mantle of the presidency of the elite grouping on December 11 this year. Mr. Modi made a renewed push for expansion of the UN Security Council and reforms in all global institutions to reflect world new realities as the G20 summit drew to close with the US, Russia and France praising the meeting outcomes under Indian presidency. Falsely implicated for political gain, what Chandrababu Naidu told court. Telugu Desam Party President and former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu, who was produced in the Vijayawada Anti-Corruption Bureau court on Sunday morning after his arrest, told the court that he has been falsely implicated for political gains, citing technicalities under statutory provision of the Prevention of Corruption Act and claiming there is no well-founded accusation against him. Mr. Naidu requested that the court rejected the remand report submitted by the prosecuting agency. Any inquiry or investigation relating to offences linked to recommendation made or decision taken by a public servant in discharge of official duties or functions has to be done after a sanction on the person's commitment to remove him from his office. Mr. Naidu lawyer argued citing Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act. The petitioner was the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh when the alleged offence alleged to have been committed and the person who removed the Chief Minister from office, His Majesty the Governor of Andhra Pradesh, and hence the prosecution had to obtain prior sanction of the Governor even to initiate an inquiry investigation in the above case. Hence there is a statutory violation and hence the remand has to be rejected. Supreme Court lawyer Siddharth Luthra, who is representing Mr. Naidu along with a team of advocates, argued. Bengal Governor Bose writes confidential letters to central state government. A day after West Bengal Education Minister Bratya Vasu accused him of trying to destroy the higher education system in the state and running a puppet regime in universities, Governor C.V. Anand Bose on Saturday warned of a much bigger action at midnight. As the clock was nearing midnight, a Raj Bhavan official said Bose had signed two confidential sealed letters, one for the state secretariat, Nabana, and another for the centre. On the content of the letters, the official said it would be disclosed later. The governor signed two confidential letters tonight, one meant for Nabana and the other for Delhi, the official added. You will come to know the content of the letters later, the official told PTI, hinting that the subject could be on the recent war of words between the governor and the state government. Incidentally, Bose signed the letters a couple of hours after holding an elaborate meeting with Chief Secretary H.K. Dwivedi at Raj Bhavan. The topic of the meeting, however, was not disclosed by either the state government or the Raj Bhavan. Myanmar receives first shipment of Russia Su-30 fighter jets, RIA reports. Myanmar has received the first shipment of the two Russian Su-30 fighter jets. Charlie Tan, Myanmar's trade minister, told the Russian RIA state news agency in remarks published on Sunday. Two aircraft have already been delivered, Dan told RIA on the sidelines of the Eastern Economic Forum, Russia's annual forum aimed at developing economic cooperation in the region and encouraging foreign investment, which start on Sunday in the port of Vladivostok. Russia and Myanmar signed a contract in September 2022 for the delivery of 6 Su-30 SME fighter jet, RI said. The Sukhoi Su-30 SME multi-role fighter jet is designed for enemy's aerial targets, engagement, aerial reconnaissance, combat employment and pilot training, according to Rosboro Export, Russia's state-controlled arms exporter. Separately, Dan told the Russian TASS state news agency that a number of bilateral agreements will be signed at the East Economic Forum, including on developing tourism between the two countries. The Russia Defense Ministry did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for the comment. The United States had warned that Russia backing for Myanmar military rulers is unacceptable and establishing with its. The Russian Defense Ministry did not immediately respond to a Reuters request for comment. The United States has warned that Russia's backing for Myanmar military rulers is unacceptable and destabilizing, with its supply of weapons helping to fuel a conflict that has become a catastrophe for the country. Russia Defense Minister and top diplomat have visited Myanmar, while Junta Chief Min Aung Hlaing has been to Russia several times since 2021 and was given an honorary doctorate. Morocco declares 3-day national mourning after quake. Morocco on Saturday declared 3 days of national mourning after a deadly earthquake overnight killed more than 1,000 people, an announcement from the royal palace said. 3 days of national mourning have been decided with flags to fly at half-mast on all public buildings, said a statement published by the official MAP news agency after King Mohammed VI chaired a meeting to discuss the disaster. The meeting was held after Friday night earthquake, the deadliest to hit the North African country in decades, hit southwest of tourist hotspot Marrakesh, killing at least 1037 people and injuring another 1204, many of them critically. Russia calls G20 summit a milestone, says this on possible ceasefire with Ukraine. As a high-profile G20 summit concluded on Sunday, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov called the multilateral event a milestone and complimented Indian presidency's active role in consolidating countries from the global south. This summit has been a milestone from the point of view of giving a clear guiding star for us to follow. Another thing that I would like to mention is the active role of the Indian presidency that has genuinely consolidated the G20 member probably for the first time in its history, he said during a press briefing after the summit. Lavrov noted that the BRICS member countries, Brazil, India, China and South Africa have been particularly active in promoting the interests of the global south and consolidating other countries at the multilateral platform. Brazil presidency of G20 sets 3 key priorities. They are, as a mega G20 summit concluded, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on Sunday said that he has set 3 key priorities under his country's presidency of the grouping social inclusion and fight against hunger, energy transition and sustainable development and reform of global governance institution. All these priorities are part of the Brazilian presidency motto, which says building a fair world and a sustainable planet. 2 task forces will be created: Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty and the Global Mobilization Against Climate Change. The president said as Prime Minister Narendra Modi handed him the ceremonial gavel of the G20 presidency. Notably, Brazil will hold the G20 presidency in 2024. Orissa Big 3 start mapping road to polls. BJD work to beat anti-incumbency. BJP and Congress takes aim at Naveen. Last Wednesday, senior Biju Janata Dal BJD leaders in charge of the organization in different districts of Orissa received a call from Naveen Nivas, the resident of Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. They were instructed to attend a meeting there in the evening to be chaired by Patnaik. At the more than 2-hour meeting, the leaders were told to make efforts to increase the party votes share and seat count in the Lok Sabha and Assembly polls next year. The party had bagged 44.7% of the votes in the 2019 Assembly polls, marginally up from 43.4% in 2014. Meanwhile, the BJP in 2019 increased its vote share to 32.5%, up from 18% 5 years earlier. In the Lok Sabha, the vote share of BJD and BJP in 2019 was 43.3% and 38.9% respectively, compared to 44.8% and 21.9% in 2014. ऐसे और न्यूज़ को जानने के लिए जुड़े रहिए के न्यूज़ 24/7 के साथ.